is the topic that we are going to study today. So, hello and welcome to today's class. Now, what is attitude? Why are we studying this attitude topic? As if when we say attitude, we all say that when we say the term attitude, we always have a perceived image of attitude is that person is caring, that person is rude, that person is this that, but that's a attitude in a very layman language. Now the attitude that we're going to study today is in a very scientific way kind of thing, because we are studying it from the textbooks. Okay. Now attitude is simply a set of mind, a set of views or thoughts regarding some topic. So attitude is some state of mind of a person if he's having a views of a particular thing which is very strong, or he have a thought regarding some topic which is like inseparable from his personality. So if there's an inseparable thing, then it is an attitude for sure. It is attitude. Now attitude have an evaluation feature too, that is attitude is either positive, negative, or neutral. So attitude is of a person is either positive or negative or neutral. So it's a attitude is, like I've told you, it's a very comprehensive term. Attitude of a person can be positive toward a political party, it can be negative to a political party, it can be neutral also to a political party. So yes, it's comprehensive term. So it is a part of social psychology that examines various behavior and try to explain their basis. Now social psychology, the branch of it's a branch of psychology which deals with attitude and social cognition, and it's the extract from that part that we are studying here. We don't have much of social psychology in a class 12 syllabus. Social psychology you will study in detail if you are pursuing for social psychology, or if you're doing MA or MA. But at the basic level, it's the kind of extract that you can read and learn. Now it's the social psychology help us in examining that if a person is doing that thing, why, what is the basic thing which is influencing him, and what are the form and what are the ideologies behind his attitude. Okay, so this is attitude. Now attitude is is combination of basically first and most two things is impression formation and attribution. If you say attitude is a combination of two things, that is impression plus attribution, the teacher will automatically get this thing that the child is studying from books or from wherever because you know this thing. Attitude is combination of two things, it's an addition of two simple things, which is impression formation and attribution. Now for the impression formation is a small topic, and so is attribution. Now impression formation is when you make a certain image of a person. If I talk about a businessman that is very punctual and he is very cooperative, that's the image I have of him, that's the impression formation. But if I say that person is punctual because of his or her upbringing, because of their circumstances, so I'm adding a reason be after, or be I'm adding reason why I have this kind of impression of a certain person. That cover our topic of this. Now what is the need of attitude? Okay, what purpose does it serve? So why we are studying this topic attitude, the basic thing that we all have to encounter is that why Why I have to study this topic? Now, we find that attitude provides a background that makes it easier for a person to decide how to react in a new situation. If you're studying this topic attitude, I'll tell you, you will be able to make social progress in your life very smoothly, because it will help you to get a knowledge that what kind of a tendency a person in front of you have, what kind of characters, what kind of ideologies he's gonna have. So the way, so that will actually help you to react in a manner. Now, it will also help you if you're having a company of you do you or if you're doing some managerial works, then it will also help you to assign a particular thing to a particular subordinate. Okay. Now, like I mentioned before, attitude is a comprehensive term and it is an amalgamation of a lot of things. Okay. So opinion, belief and values are the basic terms which helps in forming a person and attitude. Okay. Opinion, it refers to the viewpoint of a person. The importance of these opinions is that they help in forming attitude. Okay. So opinions are, I think I should do that. I think, or what people, or it's an example I've also given. In my opinion, I think so. It's the viewpoint of a person that I I think of this thing as this. I have a good feeling of this. I have a bad feeling of that thing. It's the simple thing. That's opinions. Now, belief. Belief is more comprehensive than opinions. It is it relates to the cognitive or the thought component of attitude, which we have discussed, which will be discussing thought component further, that is in the next or in the next slide. Now, thought component is the rationalize that how much you rationalize that thing is your belief, that belief in god, belief in democracy. This is the reason that you are doing that thing, basically. That's the thing. If you do believe in god because of some miracle that you have seen or that kind of things. Okay. Now, values are attitude or beliefs that contain should or ought aspects such as moral or ethic values. If I add shouldn't, if I do this belief plus should or ought equal to values, it is simple as that. Now, if I say one should work hard, one should be honest, it is simple, it is values. Now, coming to properties of attitude. Properties of attitude is, for you people, I have divided properties of attitude into two parts. First is ABC component, and second, which I have created while typing while creating this slide, is VECC component. Okay, in VECC component, I've used a first letter technique of mnemonics, which would be easier for you to revise at the last day of your examination. Okay, now talking about ABC component, A stands for effective aspect. Now, effective aspect is that which relates to the emotional aspect of a person's attitude. Okay, now if you're adding emotions to a person's attitude, it is based simply effective aspect. Now, coming to B, which is behavioral aspect. Behavioral aspect is tendency to act towards a certain topic, towards certain things. Okay, that's behavioral component, behavioral aspect. Now, C is cognitive component. Cognitive component is thinking rationally. You have a rational thinking behind that thing. It refers to the thought component. Okay, now coming to the second part, which is VECC. V stands for valence. Either you have a positive or a negative attitude towards that thing. E stands for extremeness, that how much positive or how much negative you are towards that thing, which is less or more. Okay, in simple, few or that kind of thing. Now, simplicity or complexity, how many attitudes are within a broad attitude, that is, you have a positive aspect toward that thing as well as a negative aspect towards that thing. So it's a simplicity or a complexity. Now, complexity is also termed as multiplexity. Okay, centrality. Centrality is the fourth aspect of VECC. Okay, the last thing is centrality is that if a person does not like to drink or to smoke, he will likely to be a friend with a person who is doing with this all things. Now, what is attitude? Now, in this class 12th chapter, attitude is basically given in all these three forms: formation, change, and attitude behavioral relationship. Okay, now the first, which is formation stage, we are going to cover that, which is a comprehensive. Now, attitude formation is divided into three categories, which is learning, exposure to information through society, and cultural norm. Now, now coming to attitude formation. In attitude formation, learning is divided into three categories. Okay, so see, learning is the learning which is the first aspect of which is the first aspect of attitude formation. Learning is further divided into three parts, which is learning by association, learning by reward or punishment, learning by observation. Now, talking about learning by association, it is also called classical learning. So, classical learning, or when we say about learning by punishment or reward, which is called instrumental learning, learning by observation, which is also called modeling. So, these three learnings are basically given in class 11th. If you are studying psychology from class 11th, it would be much easier for you to grasp. But if you are studying for the first time, don't worry, it will be same, because in class 11th it was like we knew this thing in advance, but it didn't have a like very much kind of application. So a basic form of now associate learning by association is classical learning. You learn by a particular, or you learn in the way that if you are writing with a particular pen, so and you score a good marks, then you will attach a feeling that if, by writing this pen I will be having good marks, or that kind of mentality. If you're going to adapt, is that is because of learning by association. Now, please do write all these things in your register or whatever, or wherever you have to write. Please pen down instead of typing or instead of taking screenshot. If you're going to pen down, believe me, you're going to grasp it more faster. Okay, now learning by association, it is also called classical learning, a basic form of learning in which one stimulus, initially neutral, squeeze the capacity to evoke reaction through repeated pairing with other. Okay, now learning by reward. Learning by reward is also called instrumental learning. In this in this, you, when you do certain kind of things, which is if you are I'll say um, getting good marks in any of the subject, your parents reward you in a way that gives you reward in the form of chocolate or a meal or any kind of thing, then you form a positive thing towards that thing, that yes, if I am going to is that if I am going to score good marks, my parents is gonna like that. Similarly, if you're having less marks and your parents are ignoring and they are likely disappointed with it, and then you're going to be having that negative aspect towards that thing, and which will help you to avoid that thing. Okay, so it is called instrumental learning, basic form of learning in which response that leads to positive outcome or that permits avoidance of negative outcome are strengthened. Like I have given you the example, or you can also take the example which I have written over here. Okay, now learning by association, it is also called modeling. It's a thing. I'll tell you example first. If I am in a company of a musician, I'll likely to develop a music uh, taste for playing a musical instrument, and having no getting knowledge of all the musical things and all. So it's a learning by observation. I'm not being directly in touch of that thing. I'm in the environment of that thing. I'm learning that thing because of the environment I have been provided. So a basic form of learning in which individual acquires new form of behavior or thoughts observing by others. Now the other two aspects which is left is learning through exposure to information, or learning through society and norms. Okay, learning through exposure to information, many attitudes are learned in social context without physical appearance. Now we are seeing that today of the internet, we have learned so many things. We have learned how to cook, we have learned how to do the how to type, oh sorry, so how to play instruments and all, because of the social media, because of the print media. We are getting the information around the globe, and yes, all that thing. Now learning through behavior, they are norms which are unwritten rules of behavior. Gradually these may become part of our social cognition in form of attitude. Now that is the example: offering money, sweets. Now if you it is the learning which you do by getting the some form of cultural activities. If and I say that in Sikhism there is a practice which is called langar. If you're going somewhere apart from India, you are going to practice that thing. Why? Because of the attitude which has been inculcated into you, that is, doing this thing will help you to get in a good position. By helping others, you will be in a good factors of formation. Now this is the topic we are going to do in next video.